go. Hello everybody, welcome. What we're doing today is the December balance preview notes. Yay! Right, here we go. Let's jump right into it. I have them here, so here's my thought and analysis of it. People are in the chat right now. Hello you guys, you'll see me on YouTube. This is VOD for YouTube. Anyway, let's do this. Right, so let me just switch the scenes over so we can have a look-see and have a read. Right, let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so the first thing. Here we go. Right, OKW revamp. This is the big thing. OKW is getting a massive overhaul. There's going to be units from different tiers have been jumbled around and thrown into other tiers as well. So let's go this through in order, right? So resource income is increased to 100%. In the past, I believe it was like 66 or something like, or 70%. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but there you go. There's that. That's very big. But they have removed the fuel transfer and the munitions transfer on the mechanized truck. So you can't do that anymore. So that's to count for that. So that's I think that's going to kind of balance things out. The tech tree, the trucks do not come in on themselves anymore. They cost, I believe, 200 manpower and I think 10 fuel or something like that. Well, I'll read through this in a second. So we have Battle Group Headquarters, 200. Okay, so the flak has been moved to the Battle Group Headquarters now. It was in the mechanized truck. The Jagdpanzer has been moved to the flak truck. So that's like tier 4 tech now. But the mechanized regiment, the P2 has been moved from the flak truck into the mechanized. So we'll see. It might be a P2 nowadays. That might be a new kind of strategy people do. That'd be pretty cool. So the Kuba wagon has also seen a major change to it. It can now cap territory and cap 15% faster. So people will be more inclined to build the Kuba. However, I think the fact that the suppression has been removed from it is a serious blunder. I think they should keep it because that means OKW can only have suppression from MT-34s, which is a non-doctrinal which is a doctrinal call-in, which is bad. I think they need a unit that can suppress things which is not tied to a doctrine. So I think removing it is bad, but they have reduced its cost and its armor has gone up. So I don't know. We'll see how good it is. The Shrek combat package has been reduced from 90 to 70. I think that's going to be pretty big, especially since we're going to see like 100 plus normal resource income, so we're going to see a lot more Shreks faster. We might see a lot more mine placement, so that might be interesting. So I think it's going to be much harder for M20s and AA half Drax as well as T70s to inflict more damage because they'll be up against more Shreks and mines. Stern Pioneers, 20 manpower cheaper. Okay, okay, I'm fair with that. It's not too bad. And so I think somebody in the chat is saying that they removed it. This is the old version I am looking at. So probably I will have to do this entire video again because this is the old version I'm looking at. But I think if they've made it back to 90 munitions, I think it's a good idea because I think 70 is a bit too cheap. Volksgrenadier rifle has been increased. This damage has been increased by 2, which I think is needed because Volks just seem to get absolutely wrecked by rifles and conscripts at any range. Well, actually not any range, but like medium and close range. So I think that's needed. P2 has been increased by 10 fuel, which I think is useful. Is balanced because I think Brad has tried to account for the fact that it now is in a cheaper tech. You don't have to spend 80 fuel to get to it from the battle group. No, it's not battle group here. The flak truck. Next to King Tiger, removed from the tech tree. Now an unlockable call-in unit. So it hasn't been tied to a commander per se. It just you can now call it on. So what I think is that what will happen as soon as you have all 3 trucks, you can just click the button and call it on, and that means you haven't got to worry about build time. So that's pretty strong. So I think that's a buff for the King Tiger. Okay, so you got the munitions fuel transfer removed. We said that. Veterinary 4 modifiers. They've changed it around a bit so that Vet on a lot like Fools, Jaegers, Obers, Volks, they've all gone down a bit. Maybe I think that's kind of for like Volks is kind of okay to account for the fact that they've gone up in damage by 2 because they'll be able to do better early game, less compared to later game. I'm not sure about Fools, Jaegers, and Obers because they're kind of doing okay as it is. Raketan's getting a bit of a modifier reduced from increased range, so. Okay, Raketen got a nerf. League penetration modifier. League got a nerf. MG42 nerfed. It's not huge enough. It's kind of it's small nerfs here and there. We'll see how these pan out. Anyway, next on to USF. Okay, Rifle Company. Rifle Company is receiving a big change. Let's just quickly pop on this music. We all like a bit of music now, don't we? Just to create some atmosphere. I forgot to put this on. Anyway, we've got music on now. Anyway. Right, Rifle Flamers move to rear echelons. This is a big thing. Currently, Flamer rifles are so difficult to deal with and so painful and so overpowered that they just come across anything and just murder everything. It doesn't matter. The thing is, if you're in cover, Flamer rifles, the flamethrowers will murder you. If you're out cover, the rifles in general will just murder you. So you can't win, right? Move to REs. We're thinking about, oh my god, are we going to worry about spam? But they've increased them by 40 manpower and they've increased their pop car. No, they've increased their damage by 2. So I'm a bit worried that REs are going to be more of a threat now to deal with, especially since they have suppression on them as well. You know, I have a feeling that REs are going to be like the new form of death and destruction. So we'll see how well these are. I've not tested out any of these changes myself. But if you have, let me know how you feel in the comment section below about how powerful this change to the RE is. Riflemen, the Vet 3, because since they recently got a buff, Riflemen, at Vet 3 they have lower received accuracy, which means they're harder to hit at Vet 3. So that was quite strong. So now Relic have decided to increase their requirements. So they need more experience to get to Vet 3. So that's kind of more balanced, I think. And considering that the Volt got a little bit of a buff in terms of damage, but got a nerf in the late game, I think that's kind of a good idea. M10 crushes and can take out Panthers in any vehicle. I'm glad that it got a nerf. It's got an increase by 30 manpower and 10 fuel. Bazookas seem to have been buffed. Good, because bazookas seem to suck, really. So they got a considerable buff, you know, from 0.29 to 34, 48, and 63, so that's pretty good. P47s, slightly reduced, adding a mini-map. Can only be targeted in base sectors. Okay, so that's not a big change. UK emplacements can no longer be abandoned. I think they've done this change because the bunkers themselves, when they got abandoned and you tried to recrew them, they bugged out because they wouldn't fire anymore. So I think this is Relic's way of getting around that bug by just removing the chance to be abandoned, which I think is a cheap way to get around a problem that they can't fix themselves, but that's the case, I guess. Infantry sections, it looks like slightly adjusted infantry sections, making them slightly better at fighting out of cover, but slightly reduced performance in cover. Okay, so little buff, little negative nerf. Okay, they're okay. It's not really much to comment on there. You know, in cover they did too much damage. Out of cover they didn't do much damage, but now they've been balanced so that they're kind of good, I guess. Sniper, coordinated fire removed. Okay, so I can just use it now. Critical shock now requires veterancy. That's pretty useful because, you know, a 222 couldn't really counter it that well. But now that, you know, a vanilla sniper can't really deal too well against the 222 if it was rushed. So that's pretty useful. Remove chance to damage engine on penetration. That's also very important as well. I'm guessing that's just normal shot. You can still get a crit with the critical shot. So, okay, that's fair. Heavy engineers, yeah, their ability was free with the anvil tactic. Yeah. So now they've been up 70 munitions because they repaired much faster when they had this free cost. So now they're at 70 munitions upgrade. I think that's fair enough. Churchill gone up by 30 fuel. Okay. It's a pretty good, strong unit. And now Crocodile range has been nerfed by 7. That's a big nerf. Though, and also it's in veteran. Yeah, I also thought it got its veterancy too faster actually. So I think that's good that they've increased its requirements for veterancy. Boys, the 7-pounder thingy AT gun increased. Yeah, it was very good. It didn't need AP rounds, so bringing it up to 320, the same cost as a pack, I believe, is valid and good. Valentine made it from 8 to 6, so might see that that commander for the Valentine, which is, I think it's the artillery doctrine, is not that good in general. But now we might see Valentines earlier because they've been reduced. Typhoons, okay, that's fair enough. The rockets only target vehicles and strafing rounds only target infantry, fair enough. Okay. Super close air support, good, only targets tanks. That's always a pain when it targets your infantry. And absolutely wrecks your infantry. This is annoying. Can no longer target base sectors. Both of these plane abilities, Hawkers and the Stuka, that's good because in your base you want to try. You think you should be safe. So that's going to be really painful. Strafing run, base sectors again. Elite troops is being removed and replacing with stormtroopers. I really like the elite troops ability. Removing it is going to make that commander kind of lame because I really like the idea of being able to buy veterancy for your units. So I'm kind of disappointed with that change. Out of all things, this is probably the thing I'm most annoyed about. But yeah, I don't know. Stormtroopers, I don't know how good they're going to be, but if they're like the Stormtroopers from the Encirclement Doctrine, they can come with Shreks or SCGs, so they're okay, I guess. We should see how useful they are, but it's not going to make the commander useless, but it's a kind of annoying ability because I like to use the ability to give immediate vet 3 to my pioneers, and they would be able to repair things really quickly. Now I can't be able to do that, so having the Tiger Race on the late game is going to, it's going to be much harder to get your pioneers to vet 3, especially since they don't get any buffs when they vet up. Next thing, my voice is going. Apologise. Treatment reserves, removing the ability to interfere with the general pacing of the unit veterancy. Removed random chance to receive veterancy on spawn. Fair enough. I don't know. Doesn't really tell me there that they will get. Are they just going to get 1 star of veterancy when I come on? Are they going to get? Are they still going to get LMGs when they come on? I'm not sure. It doesn't really tell me. So Relic probably needs to expand on what that means. Jaeger light infantries. Let's require 3 to 1. So you can upgrade, and G43s are pretty powerful. This is interesting because now we can have the G43s much earlier. So there might be interesting. Might see lots of grenadiers with G43s instead of LMG 42s now. Close air support, nuclear resources with no counterplay involved, replaced with supply drop zone. So, no, that's annoying. So you can no longer immediately change 50 fuel to 150 or 125 munitions. You have to now fight over this by trying to grab the sectors. Okay, I guess I'm not too unhappy with that, but yeah, it's kind of annoying. Soviet industry. Soviet industry has needed a buff for a long time. Moving this ability that allows players to manipulate the resources again. So same thing again. Tries to balance it out. So they also, that means that in the past, when you immediately chose that doctrine, Soviet industry, your manpower income was severely hit. Now that ability has been changed so that you can get fuel from airdrops, which will make going that doctrine a lot more, doable because you're not going to be bleeding for manpower all the time. So that's a good change for Soviet industry. R2 Sternovics, outdoing tanks infantry, that's good. KV2, buff in health. Okay, that's interesting. I think we might see more of these 2 changes for the KV2 doctrine. That's pretty useful. Bug fixes, updated squad plans on guard troops and captain squad. Okay, there's been a bug around with guards, LTs, captains, where they just, when you tell them to target something, they get like this bazooka and then they decide to jump around for a second and then try and refire. And by the time they jumped around and refire, the thing that they've tried to aim at has already moved away, and so they can't fire, which is incredibly annoying and incredibly painful and game changing. So once they fix that, that's going to be so much more beneficial for like captain play and stuff, because captains just severely suck right now when it comes to that. Alright, I think that is it. I reverted it back, so yeah, there's the change there. Just quickly check. Volks Grenadiers. Alright, so Volks have been actually increased by 15 manpower, it looks like, as well. That's going to be interesting. It's only 15 manpower, it's not that much of a difference, but we'll see. You know, 10... They get an extra 2 damage, man. They get an extra 5th worth of damage, so only 15 manpower more. Okay, that's not a big change. Anything else they've changed in this update? Doesn't look like it. Yep, I think that's it, guys. Oh, sorry, wait, some more notes here. The flamethrower has been reduced from no super, so you can get the flamethrower straight away now. The League and Pack House suppression has been removed! Oh my god, this is the most important thing in the entire universe! This is so important. Oh my god. The Pack House is so overpowered, and so is the League when they hit suppression. Getting rid of that is so goddamn... I'm so happy. That is so good. Anything else? Increase the fuel by 10 for the mechanized one. That's probably to account for like the P2 coming out too fast. So that's, you know, so that's 20 fuel more onto getting the P4 out in total, including the P4's the new P2 cost. So that tries to improve the timings to make it a bit more balanced. That's fair enough. Repair penetration is reduced by 5. The Volks regular grenade has been removed. They gave him the grenade, then got rid of it, so ignore that. Battle group headquarters reduced from 30 fuel to 25. Okay. That's going to make getting the flak half truck out a little bit faster because it's 5 fuel cheaper. Infantry section damage buffed. Okay. They gave the damage back because they were underpowered. And okay, I think that's it. This is, yeah, I think that's it, guys. Well, there you go. That's what you have. The balance preview from Hands. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. See you soon. And if I got any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll try and get back to you as fast as I can. Yeah. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye.